Hello again, everyone. I have gotten asked by several people to do another video. Originally, I had not intended to keep going with this series, but I guess I can understand after what I went through why it's helpful to some people to see further down the line how people fare. Um, okay, I still had problems with the neck aches, the headaches, the occipital nerve was being tripped. That lasted quite a while. It had gotten better initially after about a year and a half. Uh, that was better, but it was not really that great. I still had to go to pain management therapy for years following that. It wasn't until 2 years ago, I think, that I finally got off the pain meds and the injections and everything completely, and I have not had any more problems with my neck since. Still don't know exactly what was required to get it to the point of recovering, but it finally recovered. Don't have any more issues with that. In 2016, I had been going for my yearly MRIs as my doctor had recommended, and I was about ready to actually stop them because it's getting really expensive anyway. Doing this every year, and every year it was the same thing. Oh, everything looks fine. But after doing it for several years, they noticed a little bit of regrowth. I knew that was a possibility. About 5% of people have some regrowth. This tumor was apparently really tricky because of it had really flattened my facial nerve really badly. Doctor said it was just there was almost no chance after they went in there and looked. Sorry, I'm not saying this right because it was the second doctor. I had to have a second surgery. He saw that facial nerve and he said it was excruciating trying to get the all the tumor cells off that facial nerve. So I went to a different place this time. I went to the Charlottesville, Virginia, University of Charlottesville medical campus to get it done there. I didn't have a great experience with Johns Hopkins the second time around. When I went back to them, I was waiting for hours for the appointment. It passed the appointment time, and it just got extremely frustrating. I don't really like the traffic in the area and everything else. The whole thing was just turning into more of an ordeal. So I decided to go to Charlottesville. Happy I did. Originally, it sounded like, hey, Johns Hopkins, this is the place to go. Went to Charlottesville. The doctor there was amazing. He was very open, very upfront about everything, um, and he explained everything really well of where I was at, where I needed to go, what the situation was. I opted to go ahead and have the second surgery. He said that it was growing really slowly, and I might not have to worry about it for 15 years, potentially. But I'm doing the math and I'm saying, at my age, 15 years, I'm going to be 60 years old at that time. Do I really want to have to deal with it at 60 years old? I decided not to. I decided I wanted to just get it done and take care of it. So, in November of 2016, I went back for a second surgery. This time, since the hearing is already gone, it was an easier surgery, a bit easier at least. They went straight through the ear. There was nothing left to protect, so they went straight through. Surgery was much shorter. I don't remember exactly how, but considering they had to pry the damn thing off the brainstem in the first surgery, that was really what took the longest amount of time. But he did say that he spent about 2 hours working to get a tumor the size of that could fit on the head of a pin. That was really adhered to that facial nerve. He said it was really delicate. So I had been frustrated about how that first surgery had gone, wondering, whether or not it could have had a different outcome with a different surgeon. He said it was pretty much impossible because the way it had damaged the facial nerve. He did say that I could correct my facial nerve if I wanted to. I'd have to have another surgery to do that and a whole lot of training and everything. But I've kind of gotten used to it at this point, honestly. I had to get used to being deaf in 1 year. That took me probably, I guess, a couple of years to the point it almost feels normal now. Maybe it took a little longer than that. I'm not sure. I still have the problem. I can't tell where sounds come from. It makes me crazy to be in an elevator lobby. I hear the ding. I have no idea where the elevator opened. It all just was an adjustment. I'm past it for the most part now. I'm supposed to go back for more MRIs. I will get another MRI at some point. I'm just not real big fan right now of continuing to go through a bunch of tests for something that hopefully is done now. And even if it isn't, it's going to be something that's going to be years down the line before I probably am going to have to deal with it. I will go back, just not yet. One of the reasons is I've been dealing with other things. I mean, I had a lot of other things happen because I had a lot of IBS issues over the years, things of that nature. and that got worse after the surgery. I don't think it was the surgery. I had one gastroenterologist try to say that, oh, maybe it was something to do with the tumor. Doesn't seem to be the case. It was just really complicated, really difficult. But I finally, just recently, had a lot of issues, a whole lot of issues. Caused a lot of problems because of the issues, but I finally seem to be getting that under control as well. It's been a really rough ride with multiple issues, significant issues here, but I'm finally getting to a point where I feel more stable. And the tumor issue, it's scary. I mean, I know anybody going into this it's terrifying. When I was growing up, I honestly, the thing that I hoped I would never have, didn't really have the comprehension of cancer and that sort of thing, but I always was worried about ever having anything happen to my brain. Anything where somebody was going to have to go cut open my head and do something. And now I've had it twice. So I've kind of gotten used to having to deal with things that I never thought I'd have to deal with. But I guess that's part of life. In any case, my only recommendation to anyone having to deal with this is go into it, do your research, be your own advocate. The doctors are going to tell you a lot of information, and it's based on their experience. But if you talk to 10 doctors, you probably get 10 different concepts of where you're going to end up with this. They are not going to know. They're going to just do their best. The hearing loss and the facial paralysis are extremely demoralizing for a while. You'll get used to it. Hearing loss, you get used to the point where you barely even think about it anymore. It's annoying. You know, people standing on the side where you can't hear. It's frustrating. I've just gotten used to telling people, it's like, hey, wrong side. And then they move to the correct side and start talking. Or I move around them, whichever. The facial paralysis, a bit more challenging. I mean, one thing you can see a little bit, I'll try to get close enough, but you can see, probably can't see real well. But anyway, in my eye, it's got a lot of blood vessels now. After years, I've been putting the drops, gel, lubricant, different things in the eye to keep it moisturized. But unfortunately, it's hard. You know, it's hard on the eye. It's used to constantly getting those tears wetting the eye all day long. Unless you're going to sit there and constantly, every 2 minutes, pop drops in your eyes, you're not going to get the same effect. And unfortunately, it does get frustrating because I can never really see clearly from my left eye anymore. Some days are better than others, but you know, I'm always going to have something either to dry out, or I've got some lubricant in there, or something is just causing some problems. So it is kind of frustrating in that. It was good once I finally was able to close my eye again, or at least mostly close it. So sleeping at night is no longer an issue. That was really frustrating the first year and a half. I definitely would say that if I had it to do over again, I probably would have gone ahead and seen someone about something, weights or something to do, instead of just wearing that eye patch over the eye, because I think that exacerbated things a little bit, because you're not really protecting the eye itself, you're just keeping it from drying out a little bit. You know, it's a learning event here to go through all of this. Yeah, so the other thing is, it took a while, I think, to adjust to all the different aspects of the paralysis. For a while, I was biting my cheek when I was chewing because it just didn't get out of the way. Because you have to relearn a lot of things. You have to adjust to them. But eventually, you don't give it a second thought. Or at least I didn't. I really don't think about any aspect of the brain surgery anymore, or either one of them. I just kind of moved on, moved past it. Doesn't really affect me anymore. I guess that part of the problem is that, you know, I had other health issues which were, for me, much more catastrophic than the brain surgery even. I mean, I won't go into all the details of what I've been through, but it almost broke me completely, having these GI issues that were unmanageable. So that kind of overshadowed everything to do with the, I had to get over the brain surgery, get over all the changes, and just deal with things. So it was tough, but I guess it distracted me in some way too. Anyway, I'm finally to a point where I think everything is coming together. Definitely past the surgeries. I will go back at some point for another MRI, see whether I need to have anything else done, but I'm really hoping I'm done now. I think I'm done now with that. Um, I'm generally trying to just live a healthier lifestyle to just keep all of these problems at bay as much as possible. I don't need any more, honestly. And yeah, just keep going at this point. It's not as bad. I mean, these surgeries I mean, it tore me up when I got the diagnosis. I tried to pretend I was brave and okay about it, but it was tearing me up. The thought of losing my hearing and all the facial paralysis issues, and having somebody dig around in my brain, near my brainstem, it just tore me up. But the truth of the matter is, you know, doctors know what they're doing. Um, we're past the point of this being a really, really scary thing. It's more of one of those things where you just have to take a little time to prepare yourself. Prepare for the recovery you're going to have to do. Because most likely the doctor's going to say, hey, you got a 50-50 chance, yeah, of this, yeah, 1 in 4 chance of that. My suggestion, go into the surgery assuming you're going to be one of the unlucky people to have the statistics not go your way. The doctors, a lot of these statistics, and they're random. Some are random. I mean, the doctors told me that. They said, oh, well, no, I wouldn't have told you that you had a 50-50 chance. I would have said your hearing's pretty much gone if it's that big. So all the doctors are going to have different things. Presume that it's like, you know, going to be, the outcome is not going to be as desirable as you'd like it, and prepare yourself for it. And it'll be a little easier. I kind of prepared myself, honestly, going into it. It sounds silly. I think it sounds silly now, but I knew there's a good chance I was lose my hearing. I still had hearing. I had the tinnitus, but I had the hearing. And leading up to the surgery, I got myself an iPod. I got some stereo headphones. I watched some surround sound movies. I was just going to enjoy it as long as I could, and hope that I ended up with my hearing. I didn't, but you know, I didn't have regrets. I used the time I had to appreciate it as much as I could. Anyway, sorry, I'm just kind of rambling now, I think, but hope this update helps some people. If you want to have some more updates or have some specific questions for me or something, I'd be happy to answer them. But yeah, you know, it's going to be a process. But here I am, almost 10 years later, and barely even think about the surgery anymore. I mean, I even said several times I'd have more surgeries if I could get over my GI issues. If I had that option, that'd be great. But the surgeries, you get past it and go on and live your life. So anyway, happy holidays, everyone. Hope this was helpful. Take care.